Okay. I'm sorry I have to keep on checking if this is going through or not, but if you haven't noticed, been having a little trouble with the live stream. I don't know what happened. Yesterday something happened and knocked my live stream all messed up. But anyways, even earlier we did a live stream. I ended up canceling it because the video was just corrupted. It's, one of those things. So, I don't know. We're going to find out here real quick if this is on. Hey, look, it looks like it's good now. But what I'm not going to do is play that tape that I played earlier, because I don't know if that's what corrupted it or whatnot, but it seemed to be corrupted. Either way, let's not corrupt things any more than this world is already corrupted. Earlier I spoke about, we got into the secret societies of Afghanistan. And, I think some people that have researched the assassins, the history of the assassins, they maybe started to understand the game of the secret society. That these secret societies go on forever. They're ages and ages old. They go back through Egypt, and they've spread out through the world. And everywhere there's secret societies. There's Masons. And it's not just in America. It's not just in Britain or Europe. It's not just in Russia. I read an article today talking about some weird stuff that was going on in Guyana with the Masons and their history. Okay? So they're everywhere, whether it's Africa. And we spoke about it, is even how the tribes throughout Africa, the leaders of the tribes seem to be mixed in with a secret society, a hierarchy, and how that all formed and has been going on for so long. And people might say, hey, well, in Afghanistan, I don't see any billionaire houses with yachts, and of course they don't have yachts because they're landlocked, but yeah, Afghanistan's landlocked. But the pools and the fancy stuff. And how could they send their own people? How can they agree to send their own people off to war to get killed? And wait a second. What we're saying is, hello, what does our Congress do? What do the elite people in this country do? What do the elites in Britain or Europe, France, Germany, Belgium, what do? They all send their people off to die. America's doing it now. They're sending their people off to fight the people below the tops of the secret societies in the Middle East. Of course, I think everybody that's watching now has come to an understanding that, well, yes, America created Al-Qaeda because they traced that all the way back through Egypt. And, people, the secret societies created, through the intelligence agencies, created ISIS. And I think that's pretty well understood, and that doesn't need to be explained anymore. But if you can see how we can create these forces without them being called out by these other places, you can see what's going on here. And I think it's one of the toughest things. So many of us that have been awake for more than a freaking day, more than a day. If you're awake more than a day, you should have already figured out Donald Trump is a part of one of these secret societies, just like Obama. The reason why, if you were an Obama supporter, you had to stop supporting Obama, is because, of that incident they had in Connecticut. And with Donald Trump, as soon as as soon as Vegas happened, as soon as these other things happened, you had to say no more. I'm not believing the lies anymore. But Trump comes out, every single false flag, goes and visits the bullshit patients. And not only that, his cabinet members donate millions and millions of dollars to these things. But yet, no, he's fighting them. If you're not fighting the people in your own cabinet, that you put there, you're not fighting them. So whether it's the fires or these other shootings, it's very frustrating to see people still holding on to that hope that they're really actually doing something to fight against these things. But yet we see these red flag laws popping up in all these different states where they're taking people's guns. Just taking them. Little by little, you know, they're going to inch their way around. A little bit, a little bit. You know, it's one of those things. You're going to start to see, I think, states intermingling their politics soon. You know, one state might say, hey, we can't afford to do this function, so we're going to lease it out to this other state. But when you really look at these states, when they really want money for something, they get money for something. They don't really ever need money. They can find the money if they really need it. So those are excuses. But when you look at the whole plan, the whole idea of, you know, one world government, one world society, you need to start getting people's mindsets into this whole idea of intermingling, you know, with different states around them, so that, you know, their plan for territories will actually work. And let's say, you know, certain functions, like let's say it was like fish and wildlife, and let's say you had to send out your fishing license to the next state over. You go, oh, okay, well, my state can't afford to run the processing for fishing licenses, so I got to send it to the next state over. Okay? In your mind, okay, well, whatever. Just send it over. And you get your license back and all that for your own state, even though you had to send the money to the other state or whatever it was. But you become accustomed to this process of working with other states when, you know, states kind of should have their own, you know, thing, you know, their own government. You know, that this is the whole idea behind, you know, states' rights. And, you know, that's kind of something that keeps people safe in a way. You know, we have so many different states, you know, 50 of them, but we have these different states. And when you travel throughout the country, the individuality of different states is very unique. And I think that's what makes America special. You know, you can go from the east to the west, and, you know, go down to the southwest and take a vacation and buy yourself a cowboy hat and explore the culture of the west. Or you can go up into the Rockies and, you know, explore the culture of skiing with all the rich bastards. Or you can go to, you know, Florida and the laid back attitude there. Not anymore, though, because they've become, I guess, kind of, I don't know. I don't even know what the word, I want to say a word, but, you know, it's YouTube and you can't just say the word. But Semitic, I guess, even though that's not really the word for it. But they've become very, let's just say it, Jewy. That's what they've become. And, you know, so that's a little more uptight than what it used to be. But you can travel throughout this country and see different cultures. And that's what makes it unique. But when you start merging these together, you could see it. You could see what they're slowly doing. You know, they're picking away with these red flag gun laws. And they're slowly picking away. And then all they have to do is make that law a little bit stronger. You know, this year it's just, we're taking it away from people that really need to have them taken away from. People are like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. It's fine. Okay. Well, next year, oh, what? You know what? You're a little bit too old. We're going to take away your gun. People are like, well, maybe that's okay. Yeah. They start taking away the gun. Oh, well, now you're too young. Was raised age a little bit. They start taking away those guns. Okay. So now the gun owners are just narrowing down on who's owning the gun. Okay. The Second Amendment doesn't say that's okay, but this is what's happening. And if they inch it in there without people talking about it, without people noticing it. And there goes your rights. Then you're also working with other states, so the states start to merge their governments together. Okay? And you're seeing this in some larger communities that reside next to smaller communities that are, you know, having trouble financially, which is self-made for those communities. It's an economic situation that takes a lot more talking to really fully understand. But this is happening. You'll see counties that say, well, we can't afford our 911 operators anymore, so we're just going to merge them over to this centralized area, and we're all putting our money together so then we can afford a 911 proper operation. Okay? Well, next thing you know, all right, well, our water and sewer companies, well, we can't afford to be running this one. If we merge these two together or whatever, we can save some money. All right? Bam. And you're getting one after another of these governmental functions that start to merge. They merge at the county level. And then you see these states, state to state, start merging at the state level. Okay? And then eventually you're going to see governments merging at the governmental level. You know, once they start merging and getting people's heads behind the idea of, okay, well, so, you know, the next state over is going to handle our fishing license, they're going to handle, you know, our road work, and that's okay. But what happens when, you know, the United States government comes and says, you know, listen, we can't afford to do this anymore. We're going to need Finland to help with this processing of this paperwork. And then, oh, yeah, well, you know, it saves us some money. We'll save some taxes or whatever. And Finland's going to help us with our paperwork for this or that. And then you're like, okay, well, you know, you got Finland there helping us. We're merged with Finland. What the hell? Must have merged with everybody. You know? They scare you that this big thing's going to happen all of a sudden. But it's the inching that they do. The little step by step. The little, you know, doing a little bit here, doing a little bit there. Well, they're all scaring you with the big thing. Oh, martial law, they're going to come in. There's going to be an army rolling down the street. If you don't get in your bunkers, you're going to be all in trouble. That's not how these people work. You know, they'll scare you that they're going to take a lot. So they're going to take a little bit. Okay? And then sooner or later, they're going to, well, we're going to scare you a little more. And then they're going to take a little bit. Then we're going to scare you even more. And we're going to take a little bit. And we've already moved up 3 steps there. That's so, you know, they scared you with that. But altogether, they only took this. So, in your mind, it wasn't a big deal. But that much is a big deal. It's a very big deal. And that's what we need to prevent in the first place from happening. You know, it's a tough situation when we understand how screwed the country is. And we understand, well, all that stuff has been gone so long ago. Okay. Yes, it's been gone long ago. The sheeple don't understand that. But if they knew that was happening, it would be a problem. So, just because we've lost all these rights, just because all this stuff is bullshit, doesn't mean that we don't have to still fight for it and its preservation. Because despite what people think, in the world of the future, where, you know, it's Thanksgiving and you see all the advertisements, free turkeys for flu shots, you know, stupid shit like that. The chemtrails, the poisoning of the water, food, and everything else. It's not going to be pretty. So they, at even the little level, whether it's the red flag law, whether it's, you know, states merging with other states as far as doing subcontracted work for them, that has to be fought. Those type of things have to be fought. And the public needs to be fully aware of these steps that are going on that are going to take away more than people realize. a lot of people want to say, hey, you know, when I go online, I know they're watching me. They already have all the information. But that doesn't mean we still shouldn't fight for our own privacy and fight for these things. Because that inch that they're going to take, if we can fight and keep it to a half inch, that's even a win. Of course, our goal would be for them not to take an inch at all. But at least fight and not give up and allow them to take that inch. So, you know, it's not an easy thing to do to decide what you're going to do to fight. And it just has to be something that you know in your head you're going to do. And memes, with the new algorithms they have out there, really, all they do is tell, you know, if I'm doing a meme about whatever, chemtrails or GMOs, it's only being seen by those people that understand chemtrails and GMOs are shit. So it's really a slim chance that they have a net gain of changing or influencing anything. And we need to change and influence things much more. So stepping out of your bounds, stepping out in public, you know how many times, I know, it seems like it's a scary thing, is, hey, somebody might make fun of me, they're going to call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever. You know how many times I've had people come to me, you know, I was thinking of you, I was watching that thing, that plane up there, whatever the situation was. And you get to know a new person on a whole different level when you find out they're awake. Because I look at it like this. I could care less. A sheeple to me is like a dummy. You know, just like an idiot. I could care less what they think. Don't care about an idiot. But I do care about somebody that really wants to learn. And I care about somebody that is actually concerned and awake to these things. So when I get a chance to meet these people in real life, it's a great thing. And so many people say, well, I'm so depressed, all this, and nobody around me is awake or this or that. Well, of course, nobody around you is awake because you don't even, they're scared to say something in public. You're scared to say something in public. So you got an awake standoff. You got two weak people that you don't even know. You could be in the grocery aisle right next to an awake person. Not even know. That's why, stuff like that. Go to the grocery store. Stand in an aisle. Say to the next person, I can't believe this stuff's got GMOs in it. If they're not awake, it's going to, right over their head, it's not going to matter anyways. But if they're awake, they're going to say, yeah, too many. And then you just met somebody new. And it's really that easy. So, that's that piece of advice. But let's stop helping the New World Order. Because kind of what we're doing by not being more in public and not stepping out of our comfort zone is helping them. These people are dirty, nasty people. And they've controlled us to the point where the fighting we do is in services that they own. They own Twitter, they own YouTube, they own Google. We're not going anywhere. No. We're contained in their box. And they're happy and fine that we could fight all we want. In theory, something I'd love to do is I'd love to approach some of these shills that have taken money and are known Masons or there to deceive people or fearmonger just to get people to give them more money. I like to see them give back their money, along with the crisis actors. But what do they worry about? Do you think they worry about people online saying this or that? No. If they were confronted in real life, then they might have to worry. But I don't see people in this country brave enough to do things like that anymore. And I would love to see that. So it does sadden me that people don't have that extra oomph to say, hey, you ain't getting away with this shit anymore. That's what scares me the most, is that it's not that we can't stop them. It's that we won't. That people won't. That's the scary part. Because in my heart, I know things can change, and I know these people can be stopped. But do you have the will to do it? I don't know. That worries me. It worries me that there's so few people that have the will to do it. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, and it's something I look for with people online, is when they've been doing videos for a long time, you notice this attitude change. You know, they start off where they enjoy giving knowledge and everything else, but it's whether they're watching their chats. And this is another reason why I try not to watch my chats or anything too often. They watch their chats or worry about their comments, and they get worn out from the people. No, it's this. It's no, it's that. You know what? Listen, and it's okay to disagree. And sometimes the people on the videos are wrong. But it's the countless, I think, ignorance of the people to fully learn what's going on in the people behind it. But they will take what other people's videos say and try and take that as solid evidence. And none of us, whether it's me or anybody else, you should never take that, what we say, as evidence. You should always do your thorough research. But we see so many people taking a political side, whether it's the Democrat side or Republican side, fully understanding, well, there's not a possibility that you're awake when you're sitting there supporting the people that are doing it. Because, listen, it doesn't take much research till you get to the point where you figure out that everybody's in on it, that there is no side. And then there'll even be people out there that'll say, well, I know there's no side. Well, then what? Then what are you voting for? What are you taking the political route for? What are you always pushing the political side for? Well, I gotta keep hope. No. That's the problem, is those people. You're getting in the way. And it's the rhetoric of the people that don't fully understand it get overwhelming. And it makes people angry. You don't want to deal with them anymore. And that's why you see some of these people that, they've been doing this a long time, they don't even bother with social media anymore. They don't. Because, you want to talk and help with the people, but the people don't want to help themselves. Because I think one of the things I've brought up over a long time, losing channels and everything else, is fighting back. Oh, we got to go stand up to these people here or there. We got to meet them in their offices. Say, hey, we see you. Why do you keep on doing this? Oh, no, we're going to wrestle. I'm going to get in trouble. That's fine. Okay. Then you have to accept everything they're doing. If you're not willing to fight, you don't have a right to make a meme, to complain, or anything else. Period. If you're too scared of your rulers to fight your rulers, then you're accepting. You've come to a realization in your life where you accept it and want it. And I hate to use an analogy of the, what do they call it, the wife beater syndrome, where the person keeps on going back to the person that beats them. But that's what the people always seem to go back to. No matter how many times a president lies to them, no matter how many times a politician lies to them, know how many rights they lose, know how many times they get screwed, know how much money gets taken. They keep on going back and back and back. And it's like, hey, what? Why? Why? And it's a tough situation, too, for the people that say, you realize it's all fucked up. All right, how do we solve it? And they're coming with solutions. And the scary thing is their solutions are going to make it look pretty enticing. But we can't get to that point. Because let me tell you something. The way people behave these days by refusing to fight, they're going to go for the system. They're going to go for the, that's the crazy thing about it, is until you understand the type of socialism that these people want, and you understand that Trump's working with these people, what the freak? How do these people not understand Trump's a socialist? When you're supporting the false flags, when you're supporting all these agendas, all play and not talking about the red flag laws, you're supporting the socialist agenda. You're just making it look like you're not. And it's sad. That's the kind of stuff that we have to look at. It's like, why are these people why are they on this planet? Jump off flat earth or whatever. Just go away. Do whatever. Blast off. Get freaking vaporized in the Van Allen radiation belt. Whatever it is. The biggest enemy of people that want to change anything is really the people themselves. And I'm not just talking about the sheeple. I'm talking about people that are considered awake. They fight hard back against actually changing things. And once you see that, that's a real amazing thing, because people can get to the point where they say, fuck it. I'll never get like that. But I've seen people along the way just say, fuck it. Because the people don't seem to want the help. And that's sad. So, if you're not willing to fight with your heart, should you really be saying anything? That's questionable. Till next time.